Back on the auto workers strike, there's been some behind-the-scenes talk about a loan or grant program to help the auto suppliers. Is there any movement on that? And if a program would happen, could that be potentially affected by a government shutdown?
So look, there's negotiations happening right now. I'm not going to get into the details of the negotiations at this time. I'm going to let them we're going to give them the space, let them have the conversations. We are encouraged that they are continue to be at the table. I'm just not going to go point to point on what's being discussed or what's being put forward.
Is there any discussion to the administration about helping the suppliers as this strike continues?
Don't have anything to share at this time from how we're going to potentially move forward. What we are encouraged of is that they are continuing to stay at the table, and that's what we want to see. And so I'm not going to get into hypotheticals at this point. Go ahead, Karen.
Thanks, Karine. A possible government shutdown would coincide with the restart date for federal student loan payments that starts on October 1st. Is there any consideration right now to pushing that date back if there were a shutdown?
It's a really good question. We are right now, OMB is having those discussions with agencies at the moment to see how to move forward if there is a potential shutdown. Don't have the specifics of what the different programs, like the student loan program that the different parts of it that we've announced is going to look like, because those conversations are just now happening.
Can you say from the White House how worried you would be if there were Education Department employees furloughed, who would obviously be a part of this, but if there was a shutdown and those employees weren't there, how concerned would you be that this would not go smoothly then starting on October 1st?
So look, as you know, the student debt relief program the president put forth is incredibly important to him. Right? It is something that he believed, the reason he put it out there was to make sure that we give Americans a little bit breathing room, especially coming out of the pandemic. And so it was clearly part of his economic policy to make sure that we don't leave anybody behind, especially, again, as we're coming out of this pandemic. Don't want to get too far into the weeds into this because, again, these conversations are just now starting that OMB is having, so don't want to get ahead of that. But certainly we're looking into it, we're planning accordingly.